Okay, so starting from where I left off in the last video about Ciara, about her pretty much abusing her powers. She had a lot of money and she pretty much intentionally had me suffering. She was pretty much, she was very manipulative towards me. She had me under the impression that she liked me and appreciated me more than what she was leading on. And I actually ended up finding out that she had been plotting on me for many, many years. She had been plotting on my downfall. She was plotting on my death. And she pretty much did everything that she could to make it look like an accident. It was pretty much her idea. I mean, she probably had help from other people, but she was definitely the person that was willing to put in the initiative to get her hands dirty, and she was willing to do everything that she could to make it look like an accident. So she started off with isolating me from friends and family that were healthy and supportive, and she intentionally would influence me and surround me around people that she knew didn't like me, or that had negative feelings towards me or bad intentions. And she pretty much made sure that I was off the grid first, so that I guess people would forget about me, you know, or if I were to mysteriously, you know, turn up dead, then people would kind of like be a little bit more accepting towards that than me, kind of having a good relationship with them, and then all of a sudden I just turn up dead. Like people would be less likely to ask questions or to raise, the likelihood of them, I don't know, just maybe investigating or getting involved, like that would slim. It just wouldn't raise as much suspicion if I hadn't talked to them in years and I kind of fell off the grid versus talking to them every day like I normally have. So she would steal every single phone that I've had. She stole. She took from me, and she pretty much hoarded phones. Like, and I'd say about 80% of the phones that she was hoarding, they were my phones. She would snatch phones from me, like she would set me up to get robbed. Uh, like I said, it was a point in time where she and I shared an apartment together, and she would, it would be my off day from work, and she would go to work, and then next thing you know, there was like a whole bunch of men breaking in the home and attacking me, assaulting me, taking my money, taking my clothes, just taking everything that was mine. And it seemed like all the clothes, anything that was her property, it was still well intact. It was just my stuff that got stolen. So that definitely raised my suspicion. But I started to become aware of how the fact that I was always getting bad luck. Like, anytime that I would apply for a job, my ID and social security card would get stolen, or whatever clothes that was appropriate for a job interview would either, be completely totaled, like destroyed, or they would come up missing. And I wasn't able to go to my job interview. Like, say if I had a bus pass or a bus ticket to get on the bus to go to interview, that bus ticket was gone. Or say if I, needed the car to go handle some business and go run some errands, the car didn't have gas in it, or the car would be, in really bad condition, in worse condition than it was before I had it the last time. And it was just a pattern of just me having bad luck without me doing anything wrong to cause it. And when I started noticing the pattern and the consistency of me getting bad luck, it kind of forced me to start pointing fingers at her, because she was the only person that at this point, like, I had no contact or no connection with anybody that I was in contact with before, and she was the only person in my life at this point. Because all the toxic people, the people that I deemed a bad influence, I had already cut off at this point, and anyone that was healthy, it's very hard for me to explain it, but she used divide and conquer tactics to get into my head and isolate me from people that were healthy, that would have, told me what I needed to hear, that would have told me the truth. And even people that I feel like she would have eventually, that would have, I guess, threatened her position in my life. That, like, a lot of these were people that told me that she was no good. But like I said, by the time that they started to realize that she was no good, I had already moved in. Fuck off. Fuck off. So let me just make a side note real quick. Um, when I make these type of videos, I don't always capture footage of it, but there have been there have been bad white people that have intentionally tried to interrupt my footage. Like if I will make a video about an important topic, there'll be a bad white person that will stop and, try to offer help. There's many times where I've been sitting out in the middle of the street and I've needed money, I've needed food, I needed clothes, but their timing is really bad. Like they'll come when I start making videos about like certain people that have been enemies in my life. So I want y'all to be aware of what goes on in my life, what I have to deal with on a daily basis, because most of these people had the opportunity to help me when I was asking, like when I was like out panhandling. A lot of them will call the police on me. A lot of them would, like say rude things like, "Oh, go get a job." Like I'm 100% betting that white guy that was in the blue car was Jen. Now it's just a theory, but I just want y'all to see that the manipulative mind tactics that, bad white people play. I know that all white people are not like that, but I noticed a consistent pattern of, like I said, me making videos like these and talking about important topics like this and exposing certain people's characters, and I get rudely interrupted by 9 times out of 10 either a gang stalker or a bad white person. So this is why I speak on these topics and I say the things that I say, not to be a bigot, not to discriminate against someone, but I notice the patterns, and I can't continue to be nice to someone that's being manipulative. So I told that guy to fuck off because I felt like that was what was on my heart to say. He was interrupting my footage, and I strongly believe that he was doing that intentionally to throw me off or to make it seem like he was the knight in shining armor. And this is a lot of times the red flags of dealing with a bad white person is they come as the knight in shining armor when it's convenient for them, or to shut you up, or to control your perception of them, to avoid accountability for how poorly they behave. Another white guy in a blue car. Just thought I'd let you know, because like I said, when I expose people that really need to be exposed, gang stalkers come out of nowhere. They never come when I need them the most, but when it's convenient for them, because their character is essentially being exposed. Now with Ciara, she has compromised with white people. She has sold out her own people in order to pretty much have a lot of money, to be wealthy and rich, and to have the support of bad white people. Ciara, the reason why Ciara gets along with bad white people is because she is a trafficker, she is a child molester, she is a rapist. There's a lot of titles that I could give her, but when I expose either Ciara's character, or I expose the abuse that I've had to endure based off of her bad behavior, that's when I've gotten the most resistance. When I've exposed other people, I've gotten some, like I've had cars pull up and people walk by. But when I talk about Ciara's behavior, or when I expose her character, that's when my phones get stolen. I'm unable to finish the footage that I've released. And that's that.